Hello, I'm Lauren Green, and welcome to Bias Bash. President-elect Donald Trump is, of course, in the spotlight for the decisions he is having to make leading up to his inauguration. But what is the media saying about the pace of those decisions? Joining me now, Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative reporter, author, and a Fox News contributor, Judy Miller. Welcome.
Hi, Lauren.
Okay, so we've got less than 60 days. We've got 4,000 positions. I'm assuming that he's not going to fill every 4,000. It's more about, pick your heads and then you pick your workers. But so he's going to pick the prominent ones, right?
Exactly. And 1,000 of those 4,000 have to be confirmed by the Senate. So this is a long-ranging project. And I must say, there are many issues out there. There are many bones that one can pick with Mr. Trump. But the pace of this transition, the description of it as chaotic and a mess, I think this is grossly unfair, and I'm not alone. David Axelrod, who can't be described as a rabid Republican since he ran Barack Obama's transition and campaign, chief strategist, even he says this is unfair, and the press shouldn't really be focusing on whether or not he appoints key people on Tuesday or on Thursday. Actually, his timing has been, his pace has been consistent and even faster than a lot of other former presidents. But we ought to be looking at different things, and the press has kind of only begun to focus on who he has appointed to these key posts. What
are they saying about one of the posts that seems to be a stand-up, not controversial, but kind of like, what, is Mitt Romney? Because this is the person who probably criticized him the most on the campaign trail.
Right. I think it's interesting that Donald Trump is meeting not only with the loyalists, and so far he's appointed mainly loyalists to the positions that he's announced, but he is meeting with people who attacked him, like Mitt Romney. And I have to say here, Lord, I think that if Donald Trump appointed Mitt Romney, particularly to a position in foreign policy, that would go a long way towards reassuring people like me who are very concerned about some of the statements that Mr. Trump has made about Vladimir Putin and the relationship he wants with Russia. Because if you recall, it was Mr. Romney during the debate who got pilloried by the press for saying that he thought Russia was America's great strategic foe. And now I think he has been proven correct, and I think Donald Trump's reaching out to him speaks well of this transition. And if he goes one step further and appoints him to something major in foreign policy, that will reassure what I call the John Bolton wing of the Republican Party, or those traditional conservative Republicans who have great concern about a partnership with Russia and what it would mean for the United States.
Is the media missing sort of the story, the big story that's happening right now, sort of the narrative? Instead of and they're focusing on sort of like little nitpicky kinds of things. Are they kind of, avoiding something that really could be beneficial for understanding who this man's going to be as president?
I think a lot of the mainstream media are, and I think some of the stories have been so biased. Let me just talk about one piece in particular, the New York Times description of General Mike Flynn, who was appointed yesterday as the National Security Advisor, which is a post that doesn't have to be confirmed. Now, the New York Times took pains to point out prominently in this piece that General Flynn was fired by Barack Obama, supposedly because he was too outspoken or he didn't manage well. But in the 6th paragraph from the end of the story, you learn that General Flynn says that he was fired because he wouldn't toe the line on the administration's assertion that ISIS was in retreat, which we now know is absolutely accurate. Look, Mike Flynn is a very controversial person. Half of my friends love him, half of them think he's a loose cannon. But he deserved better treatment from the nation's premier newspaper, neither fear nor favor, as it calls itself, than he got from the New York Times today.
Very interesting. It'll be interesting to see, what happens over the weekend in terms of the coverage of what he's, because a lot of folks are going to the Trump Tower, to Olympus, I guess.
Including many Fox commentators. Since I'm a political independent and did not support Donald Trump, I suppose I won't be getting a call, but congratulations to all of our colleagues who are being asked to serve, and Brent Scowcroft, as I wrote this week, recommended all of those never-Trumpers to put aside their concerns and their grievances, and if the president-elect offers them a post, they should consider accepting it for the good of the country. And I think that was very Scowcroftian advice that many people who have had great reservations about Mr. Trump should consider.
Very interesting stuff. All right. Judy
You.
Miller, thank you so much.
Thanks, Lauren.
And to hear more media analysis on the week's top headlines, catch Media Buzz with Howard Kurtz Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern and again at 5 p.m. on the Fox News Channel. I'm Lauren Green, and thanks for watching.